Welcome to the Open Mics podcast.
What's up, guys?
We have an awesome interview coming up with Justin Jaynes
of the UFC.
That was pretty fucking sweet.
That was.
So make sure you guys stick around for that. Great conversation and a fun podcast.
Well, it's Open Mics with Markus and Justin. Keep on thrusting until you're busting. They're two best friends who go to open mics. They both have some pretty terrible nights, but they also have a lot of fun, even though one of them is better than one. You all know which one I'm talking about, but neither of them do, so shut your fucking mouth.
So we're about to call the man himself, Justin, the guitar hero, Jaynes.
Hey man, what's going on?
Hey man, what's up? Yeah, it's me and my co-host Markus Olind over here talking
What's up,
to you.
man? How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing well, guys.
Yeah, well, thanks for wanting to get on our podcast, man. We were looking forward to it, excited.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunately wish we could talk about a better outcome over the weekend, but you know, shit happens, and I keep thinking today's Sunday. Like I slept. I just woke up a couple hours ago. I thought it was Sunday. I totally spaced it, but
We've been there before, man.
Dude, yeah, tell me about it. Fuck.
It was a good fight, though, man. We checked the fight out on Saturday, man. You guys were like, dude, in the first round when you knocked him down, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's after that when we ended up in that grappling exchange, I locked in a guillotine choke, and it just burned my arms out, man. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything left after that. Going into the second and the third round, I felt a little bit better, and I got hit with that knee, and that put me on Cooler Street. So that was a bummer.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle a knee to the face. I don't know how you can do that day in and day out. Does it hurt?
Initially it doesn't hurt. It hurts the next day. Like,
it's the next day. Okay.
Yeah, like I think I took 3 or 4 good knees in that fight, and after the fight I just was bummed out. Went back to the hotel, rested a little bit, and the next day I woke up and I was feeling it. You know, I probably have to get nose surgery and you know, have a couple other minor injuries I got to take care of, and on to the next, man. I hope to be back in action in October.
Okay.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah, man, dude. That was, and I was watching it, and I looked up. So the past 3 fights you had before that, you got first round knockouts, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I was just checking out some interviews you had done on Twitter, and you were talking about like your mentality going into every fight is you want to knock them out. You just want to straight up get a knockout, man. I just appreciated that, man, because I was like, dude, that's what it's all about, dude. You got to have that attitude, because otherwise, you know, I just feel like you're not going to get very far, you know? You got to have that killer instinct.
Yeah, I agree, man. Man, wrestling's boring, you know, to the casual fan. It's so fucking tiring. I would just rather just slug and try and knock them out or get knocked out in the process, you know, like I did. So, yeah, obviously I didn't get the outcome I want, but as long as the fans were happy and, you know, my boss was happy, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man, Gavin, in the interview, Gavin was like, dude, the kid throws rocks. And you could hear your punches, dude. That hurt. It hurt me when you hit them in the face, dude. I don't know how people can go through 3 rounds of getting hit in the face like that, man.
It was. I landed a couple good shots on him. I know his nose is broken. I saw he had to get nose surgery after as well. So yeah, man, just a nice little reminder of, hey, you know, I'm gonna try and get a couple wins in a row and maybe get another crack at him. I think with a different training camp, you know, cutting down to 145 pounds, which I haven't weighed since I was 13 years old, in 3.5 weeks. You know, I think that paid a toll on my cardio as well. Just after that first round, my hands just felt really heavy and I was very sluggish and I just couldn't keep a pace anymore.
I was gonna ask, do you know what the stats are on broken noses, like in your professional record?
I don't know. I've only broken it once prior, and it's mostly deviated septums. It's not actually.
I mean like breaking the other dude's nose.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm always aiming for it, so I'm sure. I think a couple fights ago I broke what's his name's jaw with a similar punch. It was like an overhand right to a left hook. Brandon Noble. I think I cracked his jaw, and he was out for a couple months after that.
Oh my God.
Well, you said you wrestled, and I know you had you'd called out some guy in the UFC because he beat you in the state wrestling final.
Yeah, Drakkar Close. Yep.
Drakkar. Okay, so do you have a boxing background too? Because I mean, you fucking throw punches, man.
Yeah, I started boxing when I was like 17, 18 years old, man, and I never competed in it. I think it's very boring. But I have a great boxing instructor, and you know, I just use my wrestling just to keep it on the feet and try and knock people off my hands, man. That's just try and stay smooth and stay powerful and try not to gas out like I did.
Mm.
Yeah, because so we wanted to talk about, so when did you start when did you start wrestling in your whole life? When did you start wrestling?
I probably started wrestling. I was either 9 or 10 years old. I started at Algonac, Michigan. They had a youth wrestling program up there before Richmond even did. And I wrestled at that youth program for, 2 or 3 years. And then I transferred to middle school. We had wrestling in middle school at Richmond. I wrestled in Brandon Day all the way through high school. So I think it was like the year 2000. It was year 2000.
Wow.
And then I wrestled, all through high school and all through 4 years in college. And then I moved out here right away and started the wrestling program here. And the rest is history, man. Yeah, I've been wrestling for a couple years now.
Damn. I don't want to brag, but I did wrestle for 2 years in middle school, and I did win the city championship in 8th
That's
grade.
my man. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
And I remember that shit. That's part of why I decided to try out for basketball in high school, is because I was like, wrestling, dude. I mean, even in middle school, right? Like, that shit, just practice was the hardest thing I've ever done. Like,
wrestling it's a different animal, and I'm 31 years old today, and it's just so taxing on your body to continue that pace for so many years. And that's why I'm not saying I've gotten away from it, but I've gotten away from it because it's just so much easier just to try and knock somebody out than try and wrestle and grapple and shit.
What percentage of the guys in like the UFC have that strong of a wrestling background, like where they basically grew up doing it?
I would say 60%, I would guess, at minimum high school wrestling requirement, not requirement, but attribute. If not, and there might be more. There might even be more.
Do you think that eventually there would be MMA style at a high school level, right, where it's like the Michigan high schools would compete in MMA? Because right now, a lot of schools don't have any boxing or anything like that, but most schools have wrestling.
I don't think so, because there's too many lawsuits to go with it, and especially in high school because the kids are too young.
Okay.
There might be down the road. I could see submission grappling, like club submission grappling, but there won't be. I don't think there'll be any strikes, because if a kid gets killed or hurt really bad, the school will get sued, and nobody wants that kind of lawsuit on them, especially at the CTE with the head trauma and so on and so forth at 14, 15, 16 years old. You don't want to take that kind of damage. So to answer your question, I don't think there ought to be MMA in high schools, but I could see submission grappling.
Okay. That would be cool, man. When did you start doing the MMA, actually with the punches and the kicks and all that stuff?
In 2007, I worked at a gym in town called Steel City, and they had they had an MMA program, and I jumped in it, and the rest is history, man. I fell in love with it, and I started traveling the countryside, checking out other gyms, and I came to Vegas, and loved the gym so much, decided to move my whole life here.
Wow.
That's fucking sweet, man. Me and Justin have moved to LA for comedy, but is Vegas the place for UFC? If you do MMA, you want to be in Vegas?
Yeah, because they have so many opportunities. There's this place called the UFC PI, which is called the Performance Institute. And if you're under contract like I am, you can go into this building. It's a multi-million-dollar building. They have state-of-the-art equipment. And they for instance, leading up to my weigh in this fight, is every week I'd have to go do a body composition test, or it's called a dexagram. And they go and they hook you to these electrodes, and they'll run a circuit almost through your body, and they'll tell you how much fat loss you've lost. Is it fat loss, or is it muscle loss, or what kind of weight loss? They'll tell you how much water, how many liters of water is in your body at that present time. It's some really high tech stuff that I couldn't even explain all the science to. But the athletes in the UFC have this at their disposal when they're in Vegas. If you're not in Vegas, obviously you don't have it at your disposal. So they do meal prep. I can go there. They give me my meals for the week.
Wow.
They have strength conditioning coaches to each athlete. You can get massage, you can get just about anything you want done there. And like I said, it's all state of the art. It's brand new. The building's probably only 3 or 4 years old, and it's pretty awesome. I'm trying to take as best advantage of it I can.
Yeah, man, dude, that's the hookup. So basically, once you're under contract with UFC, that's you made it. You got all the access. Because I remember I had seen an interview where you were talking about all the regional fights, that people don't really see. So once you get to the UFC, man, you got all the connections and everything, right?
Yeah, it's smooth sailing, man. Some people I think get a little greedy because they get to the UFC early in their career and then they expect things like this. But fortunately, I've been around for a long time, and I've already dealt with all the regional bullshit on the smaller shows of having to figure out my medicals and having to pay for my medicals. But once you're in the UFC, man, it's it takes a big load off your shoulders. All you need to focus on is fighting and making weight. You have nothing. You have people like my management team, Iridium Sports, is just incredible. I have a guy based in Vegas just for me. His name is Lance. Anything I need, anytime I need anything. Hey man, you need a protein bar? I call him up. Hey Lance, I want a protein bar. He'll deliver a protein bar to my house.
Dude, you got a protein bar guy?
That's awesome.
Dude, I have Reebok, like, I can call Reebok, hey Reebok, I need a new pair of shoes, and they'll send me a brand new pair of Reebok shoes, whatever style I want. I need clothes, I need workout gear. And so I don't take crazy advantage of it, but I do take advantage of it when I need it. You know what I mean? Hey, I need workout. Hey, I don't like these shorts. Send me some pants, and then they'll just it's pretty awesome, man. It's But with that being said, over the last 10 years, I've made $20,000 or less, a year for my whole career. So it's kind of just paying it back. All the years of missed out opportunity and lack of money that I've made, because in the regional circuit, you're only making $1,000, $2,000 at max for a fight. Right. For the UFC, it turns into 5 figures immediately. So
yeah, that's got to be a good feeling when all that grinding pays off after so many years of like wondering when is this going to happen, and then it finally does.
And it happened unexpected too. And I'm very lucky, and but like they say, I create my own luck, man. I put myself in the right situation time and time again. Eventually something has to give. And it took a little longer than I wanted it to, but I'm here now, and I'm here to stay. And hats off to Gavin Tucker. He's a fucking tough dude, and I wish him the best in his career. And the best thing for me is get a couple wins under my belt and fight him again, man, because it's an exciting fight. I'm bummed that I lost, but I'm happy that I've got a lot of love, and it wasn't a boring fight. Like I tried to take his head off, with everything I could, and he tried to take mine off, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great fight. Yeah, but when you get to the UFC, do you sign a contract for a certain amount of years or a certain amount of fights, or like is it just a one fight deal thing?
No, I signed for 4 fights. I still have 2 fights left in my contract, but depending on how this next fight goes, I'm going to try to negotiate for an extension after my 3rd fight.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I never knew how that worked.
Because it seems like, it's not like 8 Mile where it's like you got one shot. You actually get to sign for multiple fights. And I think, obviously you had a first-round knockout in your first fight, and then you held your own in this fight too. So it's like, if you get another knockout or something like that, you could have some leverage to be like, look, give me more than just one more fight.
Yeah, they say you want to win. You want to win the first 2 of your 3, and then the UFC is willing to negotiate with you, especially if you do it in spectacular fashion. It's like if I take guys down and grind them and, hold them down, win decisions, they don't really care for that too much. But they can see that, I'm throwing hammers and I'm trying to take people's heads off. And, I think they appreciate that. Even like I said, even though I lost, I know that was appreciated. I know that the matchmaker really liked the fight. So that's always a good thing. It's just, as long as I'm throwing hands, man, it's all that matters.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun fight to watch. It was like it had a lot of good twists and turns, and you couldn't expect anything to happen. I was very surprised the 2 times that Gavin got out of what you did to him. When you knocked him and you were hammer fisting his face in, dude, and then you fucking had him in that chokehold. I was just like, I don't understand how someone could go through all that, and then he still had the strength to you guys both had the strength to go that far after everything you guys exerted. I was blown away. Like that.
I honestly was too. To be honest, I thought for sure when I locked in that choke, it was going to be a wrap. That choke was dead. I could hear him gurgling. All right, he's about to pass out, and somehow his pants fell down and he squirmed loose, and on to the next round. My arms were really tired, and I didn't throw very many punches. I only threw like 10 punches in the 2nd round because I was so tired. In the 3rd round, I came out slinging him again, and he just caught me with that knee, man, and beginning of the end right there.
Yeah, dude, those sneaky Canadians, man, pulling their shorts down and getting out of
shit,
dude. Bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shit.
Sorry.
Hey, you fucking repped America good though. You got some clean shots on that Canadian, but no, he was.
I appreciate it.
He was doing a lot of those kicks, man. Does he have like a kickboxing background or?
Yeah, he has a Muay Thai kickboxing background. Not to mention he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like he's an overall tough guy, man. It's if I fought him, I'd change my game plan a little bit. But besides that, the thing with that fight is no matter how I change my game plan or he changes his, it's always going to be an exciting fight. It's always going to be us trying to knock each other out. Like it's always going to be a lot of fun like that. So hopefully in the next year or so I get another crack at him and he doesn't get up after I hit him with that uppercut.
That'd be sweet. I was going to ask, man, obviously your 2 UFC fights were with the no fans kind of, empty stadium situation. Is that an advantage, like in terms of being able to hear your coaches and stuff, or? Do you feed off the
Nah,
fans?
nah, it's nor an advantage or a disadvantage to me. It's when I'm in the cage, man. I'm tunnel vision. I don't care who's there. I'm there for a job. I'm there for a paycheck. So I don't care if there's one person in the crowd or 100,000 people in the crowd. I'm getting paid either way, so it's all the same to me.
Dude, that's my favorite fucking attitude. I'm like that too. I'm like, dude, am I getting paid? All right, I don't give a fuck, man. It doesn't matter if there's nobody at the show.
It's just like going to your job. Would your job be more exciting if you had 100,000 people rooting for you while you're doing your job, or would you get paid? If you get paid the same, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it'd be kind of cool with the crowd, but either way, I'm going to be the same person. I'm still going to act the same, and it's all going to be good.
Yeah, man. That's that consistent attitude that you need, man. You got to just take everything like it's the same, because otherwise, I think people psych themselves out with, oh, there's not going to be any fans there, or there are going to be all these people. It's like if you just focus on the job at hand, dude.
Yep. I agree with you 100%.
How was it? I was interested to see your post interview, I think, from the first fight, saying about you almost thought of retiring a few times.
Yeah, man. Like I said, the fight game is a tough game, dude. It's just, it's, you're doing all these gigs, all these fights, these local fights for pennies. But if you lose at the regional show against another tough guy, your career is over. The UFC doesn't want to pick up guys that are losing. There was twice. One time I had put together a 5-fight win streak, then I lost. And I just put together another 5-fight win streak, and I lost. If you're not getting these win streaks going, dude, they'll get rid of you quick. And there's a couple times, like I said, at the job, I run a wrestling program in a gym, dude. I make $20,000 a year besides fighting. So before getting here, I'd be making less than $25,000 in a year, living off that. I have a child, I have an 11-year-old kid, and trying to live a sustainable lifestyle on $25,000. When you're 20 years old, that's one time, or even 25, that's one thing. But when you're 31, you got responsibility. We're talking about 401k. What am I going to do if I get injured? No health insurance. Yeah, there's a lot of drawbacks to fighting. I'm glad I stuck it out to be in the position I'm in now. But there was some really dark downfalls, to say the least, at a lot of times during my career.
Yeah. What's your drive? What was your drive to push you to make it to the UFC? Because, like thinking about quitting, like what kept you,
Well, no problem. This is an easy answer, and it sounds cliche, but it's not. So when I moved out here in 2012, my son was 3 years old. He was a baby. He didn't know. He couldn't understand. Oh, Dad's moving to Vegas. So my biggest fear was moving here and becoming unsuccessful, because, for the first couple of years when I was a kid, up until like 10, 11 years old, my dad really wasn't around, and I remember him not being around very much. And I knew what he was doing. He was partying, drinking, doing drugs and stuff. And I'm not mad at him for it. But that was always in the back of my head. So when I came to Vegas, I don't want him to have the same the same idea of me, he went to Vegas and partied his face off, or, and when that's not true. I came here and I did a job, and I'm training every single day. And, Las Vegas has this evil look to it, like it's this big, crazy party town, which it is at parts. But when you live here, it's not like that. Like, I don't go to the Strip at all. But anyways, to answer your question, my biggest motivation was I needed to get to the UFC, to show my kid, for one, dreams do come true, and never give up. And, I wanted him to just always know that, what I set out to do, I did, and I didn't want to fall short. So that was my biggest motivation.
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of people who, they draw inspiration from the responsibilities that they have. Like a lot of people would think, oh, well, you have a kid, so now maybe it makes sense to quit chasing your dream. But it's like,
sure.
I think a lot of people, be it UFC or whatever they're chasing in life, like they use that responsibility, something heavy to carry, to motivate them to keep, pushing towards great things.
Sure. And to go back to what you said is, that was a factor as well. It's like, you can play both sides. There's a yin and a yang to that. That can be your motivation to keep going, or it can be the motivation and the reasoning for you quitting. Like, there's plenty of people that quit because of, I just don't make any money. I have a kid now, and, I can't afford anything. And that has been a case, when I was, like 27 years old, calling my mom asking for, hey, can I get a $500 loan, or can I get a $1,000 loan here real quick? I'll pay you back on my next paycheck or whatever. Like, that shit's embarrassing. You know, and there was a couple times, you know, a good friend of mine, Shane Olson, went to high school with. He called me this year. He called me in like January. He's like, dude, you're 30 now, man. Like, when are you gonna think about hanging it up? And I said, dude, I'm so close, can't hang it up just yet. Sure as shit, 2 months later, bink, signed my contract, and here I am living the good life now.
Dude, that's how amazing. It works too. It's like right when someone doubts you,
yeah.
You're like, I feel like as soon as someone comes up to you and doubts you or tells you or tries to implant that doubt on you, that just means you're that much closer. You're like sure. right around the corner from whatever it is you need to get you to the next level, man.
And Shane is just the first person I think about it, and I don't think it wasn't ill intent. I think he was genuinely looking out for me because he knows the living condition. And Jake Boyce being another one, good friend of mine. I don't think that they doubted me. They're just like, man, like, if you fucking lose your next regional fight or something, like, you're never going to get to the UFC. You don't have any money to show for it. You don't have anything, you know. And I genuinely think these people weren't doubting me, but they were just looking out for me. And, you know, I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. And, you know, it's I rode this wave. It took me, 10 years to get here almost to the UFC. You know, I had 20 pro fights getting into the UFC, and I have 21. And, you know, it's been a rough, rocky road, man. But I would do it all again. To have the feeling I did in June, and even to have the feeling I just had the other night. Yeah, I'm bummed I lost. I fucking hate losing, but you know, it is what it is. It's a sport, man. And the thing about MMA is we can always come back as long as you're not injured. And you know, I'm hurt. I'm not injured, so I'm ready to go. And I talked to my manager. We're already lining up opponents. You know, I'm trying to get a big name fight coming up soon. Like a couple names that we're tossing around right now, some bigger names, and get back on the gravy train, man. I want to knock somebody out and collect my check.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's amazing.
I was going to say, that'd be a shirt, dude. Hurt, not injured.
Yeah, that's right.
I know,
exactly.
Bitch, man. Exactly. I'm coming at it, dude. But that's like, I don't think people mean it with ill intent. People are like, that's a good friend who's like, hey, maybe you should think about,
sure.
different situations. But it's like, I think those things come into your path when you're really close to it,
Yeah.
I just think that's how the universe kind of lines shit up for us sometimes.
I agree, man. And like I said, I appreciate their support, and it shows me that they are looking out for me, so that it made me happy that I have such good friends and family that love me, whether I win or lose, and I took my first loss in 2015, and I remember coming to the gym and Randy Couture walks in and I was looking all bummed. He's like, "Hey, Jess, what's wrong?" I was like, "Hey, boss, I just fucking took my first professional loss." And he's like, "Ah, man, that sucks, but I'm going to give you some advice right now that, I wish somebody would have gave me 20 years ago." I said, "What's that?" He goes, "If the worst thing that happens to you during your day is you lose a fight, you're having a pretty good day."
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's fucking deep, because, my son still loves me, my family still loves me, my friends still love me, and it's like nothing happened. I just lost a fight. So if that's the worst thing that's happened to me this month, I'm doing all right.
That's the thing, because you had the chance, you still had the opportunity to fight, and you still have all your loved ones. We had just actually found out earlier today, one of our comedian friends, he had passed away over the weekend.
Sorry.
So, I mean, it's like when you see stuff like that, though, it just reminds you that it can all be gone tomorrow.
Sure, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
It puts things into perspective, man. So it's like, yeah, dude, having those people in your life just reminds you what it's all about,
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely.
And the opportunity to compete, man. That's what I love, too. It's like, just did you have a chance at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I had my chance, and I'm not going to even say I blew my chance, because I gave it everything I had, man. That's all I can ask. There's been times where I've lost and I really regret, like, oh, I should have done this different. I should have done that different. But this time I don't, man. I did everything I could. And given the time, I lost 34 pounds in 3.5 weeks to make weight for this fight. Yeah, I did everything I could right, and it was fucking tough.
Damn. What's your diet? Like, what kind of weight loss program are you on?
Dude, it was fucking terrible. So I was in Michigan. I was at Hamlin Pub with my parents, and my manager called. He's like, "Hey, you want a quick turnaround? Like, we got this guy in 3.5 weeks." I checked the scale. I was 178 pounds. And I'm like, Jason, I told Jason, I'm like, I'm a little heavier and I'm drinking beer right now. And he's like, well, it's up to you. And I told him that 145, 155, 170, I'll show up and blow up. So I didn't want to turn it down. I started. So basically my diet was, I'd wake up, I would fast until about 2 p.m. I'd have my first training session in the morning, 2 p.m. I'd have a salad with 2 eggs. And then I'd go train at 3. And then I'd come back, have a salad with 2 or 3 more eggs. And that was it. And I did that for 3.5 weeks, and I lost a lot of weight, man. I lost a lot of weight fast.
Wow, I saw that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't think you were ever that small, because that's tiny, dude.
Yeah,
especially for you, because you're a big dude.
Yeah, I walk around like a 180, so it was I just stepped on the scale when I woke up this morning. I was 176 pounds, and I weighed 146 pounds on Friday.
Dude, okay, all right. So my brother wrestled in high school, and I know, like, my brother also has a fucking eating disorder, but straight up, dude, he would weigh in on Fridays and then just go eat insane amounts of food. Like, how much food did you eat after the fight?
Dude, I wasn't even eating because I was hungry. I just wanted to eat. I just enjoyed eating, man. I was 172 pounds when I walked in the cage on Saturday.
Holy shit.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought in the cage. I thought I saw. I was gonna ask, were you full because you looked thicker that day?
Oh yeah, I was grubbing pizza and sushi and all the above, and
dude.
chugging. And the biggest thing is the fluids, because I depleted myself by fluids so bad. That was just water sloshing around in my stomach. Like, I look like a bodybuilder on Friday. Today I look like a fat piece of shit. But what are you gonna do?
Do you feel better though?
Well, I went hard on some sushi for lunch, so I don't feel very good right now. But I feel better now that all my weight's back. And that the feeling I had Friday, like, I was like, the weight cut was so freaking hard. Like, it was. I genuinely thought I was gonna have a heart attack or a heat stroke. It was terrible. We cranked the room up to 100 degrees, my hotel room. I was in plastics, and I was wrestling in 100 degrees in plastics, and it was so bad. I couldn't breathe, and it's giving me anxiety thinking about it, and I hope I never have to go through something like that again.
Damn, bro.
That was giving me anxiety.
Yeah,
I was choking a little bit.
You went through the diet, and then on top of that, I'm just picturing, like, being in a nice hotel, but instead of enjoying the room, you're in fucking trash bags wrestling.
It was fucking terrible, dude. I weighed 158 pounds on Thursday night, so I started my weight cut at 158 pounds, and I get with my coach, and we worked out for about an hour, and it was terrible. Like, it was a very hard workout. I was in sweats in that hot room, and I was like, all right. So after we worked out for 2 hours, and I looked at I was 13 pounds over, and I had lost 9 pounds in 2 hours, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, fucking bet. I mean, I felt like shit, but I wouldn't feel that shitty. And I was like, hell yeah, fucking bet. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to sleep. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go to sleep till 6, and we'll finish the last 3 pounds at 6 a.m. So I lay down in bed, but I was getting the chills. If I had one foot outside of the covers, I was too cold. If both feet were under, I was too warm, and I couldn't sleep at all. So I stayed up from 1 o'clock to 6 a.m. My coaches came in at 6. Like, all right, let's get this last pound off. I work out for an hour, thinking that I just lost 9 pounds in 2 hours. So I work out for an hour, hoping I'd lose like 5 pounds and I can hydrate back up. Well, I ended up losing only 2 pounds. So I still had 1 more pound to go. I'm like, motherfucker. So I jump in the bathtub, a very hot bathtub, and I sit in it for 40 minutes straight, which is like a hot tub, but I'm not breaking a sweat. I get out of the bathtub. We have 1 hour until weigh-ins, and I only lost 0.2. And I was like, so I have 0.8 to go. And I told my coach, I'm like, I'm done. I'm fucking done. Like, this fucking sucks. I don't like it. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, get your ass back in that hot room. And so we went back there and we started wrestling, and it was so bad. There's video. One of the guys videoed it. They're holding me up, trying to get me to keep moving. Like, it's taken 2 guys to hold me up like a puppet, like trying to hold my body up and keep my legs moving. And then I told him, I said, I'm done at 10:15 because we had to leave at 10:30. And I said, I'm not doing anything else past 10:15. And 10:15, I stepped on the scale, 145.9, and that was it.
Wow.
Damn, bro, that's fucking intense, man.
It was
that
bad.
The biggest,
I couldn't do that again. If you told me right now if I could do that again, I'll pay you $10,000. I would hesitate on it. I would definitely hesitate. It was the hardest and one of the most miserable experiences of my whole life.
So is your plan just for the next fight in October just to try and be more, well, because that was like short notice fight, right?
Yeah, that was 3 weeks, and I told them that next time they want me to go on 145, I don't mind, but I need a minimum of 6 weeks.
Okay.
And I'm hoping they come through for that. I don't want another short notice offer. If it's at 155, that's fine. That's 3-4 weeks at 155 is fine. I can get ready for that. But 145 is too much, and you know what? I did what I said I was going to do. I told Dana White, I told Sean Shelby that if you give me a 45 fight, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what I do, and I did. We didn't get the win, but I showed up and I threw heavy punches and I made an exciting fight. But my body just can't. I just can't take those kind of weight cuts on that kind of notice.
Yeah. What would you prefer to fight at?
Wherever the bigger paycheck is, man. Honestly.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'll fight at 170. I fought at 185 before. It just depends on where the money's at right now. I'm making really good money fighting at 45 and 55. And I think my UFC debut, I made like 80 grand. And
wow.
So as long as those zeros keep racking up, let's go. Show up and I'll blow up.
Where is typically the bigger money at, or is it just kind of depend on the matchup? It's not necessarily.
It's matchup. It's matchup based.
Okay.
So if they offer me a fight at 155 for say 10 grand, and then 145 for 25 grand, I'm going to go to 145, or vice versa, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Do they base is the money based on how many wins you got and how much I guess you could say clout as you go?
Yeah. A lot of it's clout, and a lot of it's stylistic matchup. Like they're gonna pay a knockout artist more money than they're gonna pay a submission guy, if that makes sense.
That does make
sense.
And
at least I think so. They won't probably openly say that, but I got a lot of good clout after my first knockout, and even after this, I still got a lot of good clout because, again, dude, like I said, Gavin's fucking tough, man. I never take anything away from my opponents because I know how hard they work to get to where they are, and I know how hard I worked to get to where I am. And for someone to step in the ring and beat me after everything I did right, hats off to him, man. So I hope he racks up a couple more wins and he gets in the top 15, and I can meet him there and knock him out next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a good ass fight, dude. You guys were both kind of, different styles, but going back and forth on it. And he seemed to have the advantage early, and that's why when you landed that punch and he went to the ground, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was not ready for that, man.
Yeah, I was. I wasn't ready for it either. I didn't. And I saw his eyes roll back into his head, and I remember getting all excited, like, "Oh fuck, the fight's over." And then unfortunately, it wasn't. So, hindsight's always 20/20. I should have done a couple things different. Instead of jumping into his guard and trying to grapple with him, I probably just should have postured over top of him and try to do some more damage with my feet and with my elbows and my hands. But like I said, hindsight's 20/20, man, and we can always, the whole world would be a lot different if we could all, go back on our what ifs. But learn and on to the next.
That's all you can do.
Yep. Exactly.
It's always powerful to be able to move on to the next and not to accept failure, But obviously, you signed the contract in the UFC, so it'd be stupid not to fight. But
I mean, it's also just to be like, yeah, no, you did show some things, and it's like to get clout after a loss too. I mean, that's the best kind of loss to have. If you're gonna lose, that's how you want to do it. You want to, like I was telling Justin, it's like you went out swinging.
Yep. Exactly. Live by the sword, die by the sword. That's why I live.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up, dude. I gotta ask, how good of an athlete was Essenmacher in high school?
I remember we played baseball together, and I think I was his backup first baseman. He was a lot taller than me, and he had a longer reach, so he always played over top of me. And I can't remember if he was any good at batting, but I remember he was a really good first baseman with a long ass reach that held his own. Played football together a little bit as well.
Yeah.
He was a year younger than me. I want to say that he was on the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken.
I was, and you were on defense and you on offense, and you kicked everybody's ass, and I was scared shitless of you.
Shit. I wouldn't go that far. But.
Well, yeah, dude, you were he was our linebacker, dude, and I just remember watching him hit people, and I just go, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be a part of that. And he enjoyed it so much, I was just like, how do you do that? And my body doesn't want to do that. And yeah, dude, you did a lot of cool shit in high school too. How many state titles in wrestling do you have?
I only have one, and then we had 2 runner-up as well. And then I was undefeated going into my senior year, 57-0, and then I lost to Jakar Klaus, who also fights in the UFC now. I lost to him by a point. Damn. And that's one of the guys I was calling out the other day. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's ever since I was little, I always like to hurt people, and it's not like I want to hurt innocent people. It's like I want a competition. Even in wrestling matches, I love slamming people and trying to hurt them. But I mean, not like out of competition. It's not like I want to go to a bar and pick a bar fight. I've been in a couple bar fights before, but yeah, it was always I just like the aggressive. I just like aggressive natured sports, and yeah, man. I played 1 year college football. I wrestled 4 years in college, and it's now I am where I am, man. So I wouldn't change my story for anything.
How intense is college football up from high school football?
It's not more intense. It's just faster. It's just faster, and everyone's bigger. And it's the plays are run faster, and it's the same with every sport. It's not like I don't know. It just I was really small in football. You know, I'm 5'7". I was probably 200 pounds playing college football. I was fucking terrible. I was slow, and I would just get wrecked day in and day out. I only played one season because of that. I just kept getting fucked up, man. Like you can't stop. You know, trying stopping a halfback, you know, coming up the middle at a full sprint, you know, because I was a safety in college. Okay. I just was getting my bell rung too much, and you know, I need to save some brain cells for fighting. So I only played one semester, and the same thing with wrestling too. You know, it's just faster. It's just it's a lot tougher and a lot faster. I think every sport is that way. You know, in baseball, the pitches come a little faster. The fence is a little bit longer. You know, it's just small increments of increasing the speed of the sport.
Yeah. How tough is college wrestling workouts compared to high school?
It's, you know, well, it's different. So when I was wrestling for George, you know, we had 3-hour-long practices. We get out of school at, you know, 2:50. Mm-hmm. They were like 2.5 hours, 3:30, and then 3:30 to 6 or whatever we were doing. College isn't as long. It's usually an hour and a half practice, but it's bust your ass for an hour and a half. There's no technique. There's not much technique because they figure once you get to college, you should know most of the technique already, or at least the technique you're going to do. So it's get in, get out, you know, get in, get a hard workout in, and get out. And then we do our lifts afterwards and stuff. But from an intensity standpoint, it's night and day difference. From a toughness standpoint, it's, you know, so much shorter than the 3-hour practice. I prefer the quick get in, get out practices over the high school 3-hour practices.
Yeah. I think I'd prefer that too.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I don't know if I can. I remember, like I said, I wrestled a little in middle school, and then I went to a high school practice when I was still in middle school, and I was like, I couldn't even that was just too much for me. I couldn't fucking handle it anymore, man.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you guys short, but I have some friends waiting to go to dinner right now. If you want, we can recap, or we can get back together later in the week, and if there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
No, man, it's all good. This was perfect, man. This was an awesome conversation. We appreciate you taking your time out of your day, man. I mean, congrats on the fight, and good luck in the future, okay?
Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. If you guys ever want to chop it up, or, you know, before fights, after fights, dude, I'm your huckleberry. Just give me a call.
Heard.
Hell yeah, man.
Heard, man. We'll definitely do that.
All right,
man.
Sounds good, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Justin.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Justin, Jaynes, man.
That was cool.
Dude, I wish we would have asked about the Guitar Hero.
I wanted to ask. I thought you were going to ask it at one point.
I missed it. I missed the Guitar Hero question, man. But that was a good-ass interview, dude.
That was good. Enjoyable. I felt professional. I mean, I didn't say much, but it was a good conversation.
It was, man.
On all ends.
Yeah, man. It was just interesting to hear how he's like, I'm going to fucking knock a guy out. I'm like, dude, that's that attitude.
I want to be that guy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, being that big swinger, dude, that's what's up, man. And it is interesting to hear, like, how they do the pay grade. It's like, well, this fight's going to sell them. And it makes sense, right? Because they're a business. Course. So they're like, dude, we want you to try and knock the shit out of this guy. That's why Tyson was a big attraction, right? Because he's like, no, this guy knocks people out, dude.
Exactly. Man. Yeah, that's like when people want like a really fucking knockout comedian, they're gonna pay me a lot of money, and then they'll pay less for Markus.
Yeah,
it's that.
Because I'm like Sugar Ray Leonard, you know. I do the little.
You know, I'm like Mike Tyson. You know, I'm like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, you're retarded. No.
Mike, I love you.
I love you too, Mike.
You knock him the fuck out.
Did you see Mike Tyson's on Shark Week this week too?
Yeah, I haven't seen any. I've only seen his commercials.
I have seen no Shark Week yet either, but I think it's funny.
He puts a arm wing on, and his son comes to put it on him, and he's like, Thought I've been working out.
I've been working out. It's Sock Week. Oh my god. If I ever meet Mike Tyson and he sees this, which would be fucking sweet, first of all.
That would be so sweet. I don't know if I would. I don't know if he could be like.
Out of me.
I don't know if I could be like, you know what? I deserve it. Hit me in the face. But if he does, I feel like my jaw would be behind my back like an owl's head.
Like an owl's head, dude. Yeah, just knock it out. That was the funny part about Hangover, dude. The other day we were watching Hangover, man. Mike Tyson is like, boom, 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 boom. I can see it. Come on. And then he just knocks Zach Galifianakis and he just hits the floor. And you're like, oh my God, dude, it's fucking wild, bro.
And you look like him.
I do kind of look like a cooler version of Zach.
Yeah, Zach is a little skinnier.
Zach is a little, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, man. I'm over here. I am now a Heineken 0.0 guy.
He is that guy. This guy can't turn a fucking...
I have to do it. It's what's necessary.
And you know what? I'm drinking fucking sparkling Voss water. So that tells you where we're at in life. We're
Who's better
so
or worse?
fucking bougie right now.
No, we're just trying to make positive changes, man. Dude, the craziest part when he was talking about losing weight, he's like, yeah, I lost like 87 pounds in like 2 days. And you're just like, fuck, dude, how'd you do that? And he's like, eggs and salad. And then I
And Marcus is like, wait, so you can't pizza? You can't no pizza?
No pizza.
No
but
McDonald's?
But that's the thing. I think my brother got an eating disorder from wrestling. Because it just, it sets it up like, you can't eat for like 4 days. And then it's like, oh, you weighed in? Well, now you weigh that. So you can, that's set in stone, eat whatever you want. And you're like I remember going to a CC's Pizza. You know what CC's is? I went to a CC's with my brother, and everyone was just looking at him because he'd walk back with these plates, just all the pizza.
Sometimes it's like you got to tell that guy when you're just like, come on, really? You're going to eat all that? And then the sad thing is, and you look over and he ate all of it. All the crust,
and
too.
He's still in better shape. But watching, dude, it was funny. It was funny, man.
And then you throw it up.
And my brother would, yeah. But yeah, man, that's a
I
crazy
couldn't
weight
see it
loss
like
story.
I'm doing that challenge, Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking it's hard. He's like, no, dude, I lost 9 pounds in one night. What are you doing with your life? And I'm like, well, I ate some almonds and I drank soda water. And
But did you wrestle in a hefty bag? All right, then you don't want it enough. Did you wrestle in a?
I need it. Could you imagine if comics had to like do a weight
if
loss?
you had weight classes for comedy, I would go to the heavyweight show every time. Bro.
There might be like 10 comics left. They'd be like, fuck
No, you
that.
just have different weight classes. You have your heavyweights,
your
right?
PC class.
You got your Joey
PCs.
Diaz featherweights.
Yeah.
You got your featherweights. You got your middleweights. You got your welterweights. You got your welterweights. I don't know what other weight classes there are. And then you got your heavyweights, all right? I'm trying to get into the heavyweight status, all right? That's why I'm trying to pack on the pounds so I can...
You're doing good.
I want to get in that Joey Diaz class, you know what I'm talking about?
We talked to one UFC fighter and he thinks he can fight.
Look at this. No, I just got bad skin, so I'm trying to cover it up. But I was like, I'll put him up.
You do look like an old-timey boxer right now.
Yeah, I got like the big gut, but...
What was up with those guts? Why?
Well,
how did they fight? They're like, hey, how much beer can you
it's
drink?
It's harder to hit him with the body shots, right? Because they got all that extra padding.
Oh, so now you're a boxing coach.
I know, I'm a 1930s boxing coach. I only know 1930s bare-knuckle depression boxing. That's all I know. So.
And you use your wife for a boxing bag. She should have been cooking the meatloaf. Pop, pop, pop.
Honey, I'm fighting Denozo on Friday. Okay?
Yeah. Denozo beat your ass last time and he's gonna beat it again. He's like, say it again, bitch.
Yeah, no, she stands up. She's like, that's all you got. She's just fucking, dude, they used to build women different back then, all right?
They were bigger than the guys sometimes.
They were like the cars built out of steel. You know what I'm saying? They fucking mashed potato fucking ladies.
Their wedding photos were who had the biggest mustache in it. They would sit next to each other.
That's just the Italians. I cook the pasta for all of the kids. Yeah. Fucking shit, dude. That was fun though.
That was so much fun. Yeah.
I'm glad we got. It was
cool.
I'm glad we got to talk to him, man. And I wanted to see like, are we gonna talk about the fight at all? And he was like, yeah, man, let's fucking, because that was a good fight.
It was a great fight.
It was a good fight.
If you didn't see it, you should definitely go watch it. It's a great fight to watch. There's a lot of twists and turns, and that's not even just saying that.
Yeah, it's
Justin really cool.
Jaynes against Gavin Tucker. It was on Saturday, man. It was a good fight, dude. It was fun.
Hey, yeah. So, did you hear what he said about me, bitch?
He said
Baseball?
you started at first base over him because of your lanky ass.
Oh, give it here.
Yeah.
Could catch it. I'm
surprised you weren't catch it.
I was also an ace pitcher. I was also a starting pitcher. I actually was a good hitter too. But you know the funny thing of politics, I got cut varsity baseball because I wasn't liked.
You weren't liked?
So, just carrying on.
When you got cut from varsity baseball because you weren't liked.
My whole life changed.
Is that when it started?
When the fucking emotions
the depression,
kicked in.
yeah. Is that when you decided to join a screamo band?
I got the first girl in my life, and then she that was getting bad. I don't know. Yep. I started a band.
I started a band, then I quit my band and did comedy, and now we're here.
And now the surprising thing, I'm still in my parents' house and in another parents' house in the basement practicing.
But that was the thing he was talking about. It's like, when you're 26 and you got to ask your parents for money.
It is embarrassing.
That hit me hard. It is, but it's also like at the same time, man, that's what family's there for, right?
If you have a good family, but then there's some people out there that aren't as lucky as us. Like,
for sure.
I'm very lucky for my family.
But that's what I'm saying.
They do take care of me.
If you have that foundation.
Yes, but if you don't,
it can help you get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
it really, you do that much some more support with a dream is just that much more help, because this shit gets dark, just like he was saying, and it gets lonely.
Yeah.
It gets depressing. You keep doing the same shit, hoping you get a break, and then you try starting a podcast with your best friend.
Fuck you, because I was going to say that to you.
And then you do, and then you fucking try to make a TV show with your best friend.
Which is awesome, by the way.
It is great.
It's pretty awesome.
But, the thing is like, we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and I know we're not even making any money at it. And that's the shittiest thing about this dream, is because, like, what the fuck do we have to show for it? But
my favorite part was he was like, as a regional fighter, I'm only making $20,000 a year. I'm like, dude, if you're a regional headliner in comedy, you're making not even $20,000 a year. I'm like, I should have been a fighter, bro.
You'd be in shape.
I wouldn't, because I wouldn't be booked for a fight. They'd be like, Marcus, we need you to cut down.
Hey, can you get the drunk guy? And they throw the bucket of water on you. Wake up, stinky.
Dude, that's a fighter movie.
Oh, put him up.
That's a fighter movie.
Put him
up. He's like, Frankie, you got to fight in 3 weeks. And then the music just...
Frankie, you got to give up the jokes. You're not good at it. He's like, but what am I going to do? He's like, you're going to be a fighter, son.
No respect. Nothing. No respect. They want me to fight. I'm like, no respect. My God.
It's just inspirational, and it's crazy that we went to the same school, man, and we're both chasing crazy dreams. He made it. It's inspirational, and it just makes me want to go even harder. Yeah. So I salute him.
Yeah, I salute Justin Jaynes. I salute you, because you also work hard and you're trying to make it happen out here.
Thanks,
and
man.
you're doing it, man. Thank you, man.
We're trying.
I thought that's where you're going to jump in and plug my new podcast.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was okay, so it's a new thing. So if you guys didn't know, Markus does love porn and capitalism. And if you didn't know, Markus had created a new podcast called Markus Loves Porn and Capitalism. You can catch it on his YouTube.
Yeah.
Every Saturday?
It's on every Saturday. It's on Spotify. It's on Anchor. It's pending on Apple Podcasts. It's called Markus Only Loves PC, because I didn't want to call it porn.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that was going to get caught in the filters.
And if you support his Patreon, he will send you nude videos of him masturbating to the porn that he talks about.
Yes. The interesting thing, though, is
and he does it. Actually, the Patreon's only $1, so that's how dirty it is.
Patreon, actually, I've had some developments. It's actually had to move it to Pornhub, because that's kind of a better channel for it. So go on my Pornhub Patreon and support me there. I'm doing all kinds of fun stuff. Jokes, crowd work. That's what I call it when I go down on someone. I do a crowd work.
Yeah.
But
so
I did want to just say R.I.P. I want to close on this.
Yes.
R.I.P. to Marco the Clown, Millennial the Clown. He's fucking Detroit podcasting entrepreneur, kind of a trailblazer in the Metro Detroit podcasting scene, especially for comedians. He was
giving us an outlet to talk our shit and speak our stupid thoughts when we don't deserve the space, but he loved us that much.
And if you don't know, he was one of the co-founders of the Sitting Down with Stand-Ups podcast, which is a really fun podcast that focuses on local Metro Detroit comedians. We've both been honorary
PBS
guests.
for comedians, dude.
And it was fun, man. I always loved going on there. I'm going to be on there tomorrow. So if you're listening to this very soon, I will be on the new Sitting Down with Stand-Ups with the lovely Jay Hunter. But I did want to say, because Marco did pass away, and it's always sad, man. And, he died. He got diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. So,
yeah.
Just wanted to say R.I.P. to Marco, man, because he was a good guy.
Yeah. Man.
Just a moment of silence there, real quick for him. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out the podcast. Check out Justin Jaynes when his next fight is, hopefully in October. We'll plug it for sure on this podcast. Hopefully we'll try to have him back before his next fight. That'd be cool.
That'd be
check
cool.
in on him.
Check out Sitting Down with Stand-Ups.
Definitely check out Sitting Down with Stand-Ups. Check out Markus Only Loves PC. And just keep your eyes out, because we're working on stuff.
Yeah. And if you have a dream, chase it.
Yeah, chase that motherfucking shit.
Go do something, man.
Because you might not know this right now, but you might fuck around and make it, kid.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Well, it's open mics with Markus and Justin. Keep on thrusting until you're busting. They're two best friends who go to open mics. They both have some pretty terrible nights, but they also have a lot of fun, even though one of them is better than one. You all know which one I'm talking about, but neither of them do, so shut your fucking mouth.